Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of Tuesday Newsday. I'm Brady Helkin with BH Tech Connection, and I'm here to talk to you about what's happening right now in the news. So today, for our first episode, it's March 24th, and I'd like to talk to you about browser hijacks. Now, what's browser hijack? Basically, it is whenever you're online, you're clicking on a link, you're trying to go to a website, you end up getting redirected to a different page. And usually that page has a lot of flashing large text. It tends to have some really urgent message about being infected with a virus and call this number. It's usually an 800 number. Sometimes it's claiming to be from Microsoft, sometimes Apple. Whatever the case may be, they want you to call a phone number. And what ends up happening is that when you call the phone number, somebody on the other line wants to set up a remote session with you. And you go and follow through that process and you get them access to your computer, and then they start pulling up stuff and showing you how this is infected and that's infected. And if you go ahead and pay for this software or pay for their efforts to clean up the computer and give you give them your credit card or other kind of payment information, and you see where this is going. So it's a phishing attack. It's a scam. It tends to take over the browser. It's actually easy enough to stop it if you know that that is what's happening, because then you force quit the browser, and usually you're fine when you open it back up again. But a lot of people fall for this scam. And give you an example, last Friday, I had 2 different calls from 2 different people within 15 minutes for basically the same thing. In both cases, they had let the person into their machine. One of them had actually already given their credit card information, so that was an entire extra step they had to do afterwards to contact the credit card company and stuff like that. But the other one had caught on by that point and canceled out, but still wanted to have her computer looked at, make sure everything was actually fine. So I'm bringing this up because since the shelter in place began, particularly here in the Bay Area, but realistically across the country around the same time, a lot more people are stuck at home. They're in quarantine. They're not allowed to work unless they're essential. You have a lot more people at home, which means you have a lot more people on their computers during the day that are not at a work computer. So you don't have as much protection on those home computers. And what ends up happening is that there's a lot more cases of people falling for these browser hijacks, these redirections on the web browser that takes you to these screens. So it's usually pretty rare that I hear about this kind of situation in general. So for me to have gotten 2 calls within 15 minutes, it kind of gives you an idea as an example of just how much more prevalent this has become. Cybercrime has definitely increased since the shelter in place has begun, and it's not just browser hijacks, but ransomware attacks and virus infections and other kinds of things, and social engineering calls and stuff like that has increased pretty dramatically as well. So, in conclusion, how do you stop this from happening if you find yourself seeing this kind of situation, like a browser redirect? Think critically, right? Before you call in the phone, call the phone number on the screen. Ask yourself, does either Microsoft or Apple know that you would have a virus on your computer to tell you to call them? Usually not. That is a specialty kind of service. We offer that type of service, but Apple and Microsoft do not. They'll let you call into a number, but they rely on you to go and find the phone number first. They don't go through the effort of putting it on your screen for you. So same thing applies for a related node. So, browser hijacks, that's you click somewhere and you're ending up in a place where they're telling you to call. There's an entire side scam that happens too, where people call and say, hi, I'm from Apple, or hi, I'm from Microsoft, and you have a virus. Can I take a look at your computer? So it's a related phishing attack. And it's the same kind of critical thinking that helps avoid those situations. They'll tend to want your credit card or ask you to buy gift cards or something and give them the codes. So in conclusion, no big company anywhere is going to voluntarily tell you that you have a virus. You're the one that's supposed to know that, right? And so what ends up happening is this succeeds a lot because that is not necessarily common knowledge. So hopefully this um, topic has helped illuminate what's going on. It's, like I said, it's been going a lot. Cybercrime has increased a lot since the shelter in place began. So if you know people that would potentially fall victim to this kind of thing, please share this video with them. And hopefully you enjoyed our first episode of Tuesday Newsday. Again, I'm Brady Helkin, BH Tech Connection, and I'll see you again soon.